Our next speakers are Oliver Stevenson and Amy, who are from KPMG, who I'm sure need no introduction, a really big international firm of accountants.
Thank you very much. Really great to be here, and great that you've all come and joined us away from that main hall activity. Simon's ruined half my intro. We are KPMG. We are one of the largest accountancy firms in the world. 143 countries, 265,000 people. In the UK, about 15,000 of us. Mainly covering audit, tax, and the very broad umbrella word of advisory services, so corporate finance work, companies buying other companies, companies selling companies, companies in distress, really the full gamut. I'm Oliver Stevenson. I'm a director. I work in audit in Leeds. This is Amy Dowsing. She's one of our current apprentices. I will say just a little bit about myself, because really Amy's the star of the show, being someone who's currently living this day to day. I've been with KPMG for 17 years. I actually came through our graduate route, having done a degree in psychology at Bath. I only intended to stay for 3 years. I thought I'd just get my qualification and go off into the big wider world. But KPMG has been such a great place, such a variety of work, level of challenge, but also a level of support, that literally every year when I've kind of reevaluated what I want to do, I've just thought, do you know what, I think I'm still in the right place for me right now. So it's offered me a really great variety of work, lots of challenge, lots of people. I'll tell you a little bit about audit, because that is kind of the mainstay of certainly what we do on a day-to-day basis. Audit, briefly, is verifying the financial statements of companies. And they produce those financial statements to demonstrate their financial performance and their financial position on an annual basis. Myself and my teams go in and check that information and make sure that before it's released publicly, it's true and fair, that it's free of material errors, that it's free of any significant fraudulent activity that we might be able to detect. It's not our primary purpose, but obviously we try and look out for it. And then I personally, by name, sign off on those accounts when I'm comfortable that we can do so. That brings us into contact with firms as big as Jet2. Some of you might be in for Jet2 earlier. I used to work on their account, and all the way down to owner-managed businesses, but still of some reasonable scale, kind of turning over at least 30-40 million pounds a year. But an enormous variety of work in between all of that. It's a fantastic place to be. Our apprentice scheme brings in about, including the graduates as well, brings in about 1,400 people a year. Offices in every major city in the UK and a lot of others in between that, and the apprentice scheme runs across all those offices, not just in audit, also in data analytics and technology, which are two areas that just transcend all areas of our business at the moment. Consulting, tax, law. We do have our own legal practice as well, not to trample on Gordon's toes too much. And also we offer apprentices in business services. So say there's 15,000 of us in the UK. We can't all just go out and be dealing directly with clients. We need a huge team of people behind us running our offices, looking after important administrative functions and risk management and compliance and things like that as well. So the variety is fantastic. Right, I've already spoken for a couple more minutes than I intended, so I'll pass you over to Amy, who'll tell you about herself and her experience as an apprentice.
So I'm Amy, second year audit apprentice at KPMG. I'm in the KPE department, which stands for KPMG Private Enterprises, and I work on engagements that are more the private enterprises rather than the big listed engagements. I actually have worked on one of Ollie's jobs before. So a lot of people probably wondering why I chose an apprenticeship over uni. And for me, I don't think uni was ever really an option. The social aspect, going out 3 times a week, never really appealed to me, to be honest. I'm a bit of a home bird. But also my brother did a very similar apprenticeship at another Big Four firm 6 years ago now. He's now in Toronto, in Canada, living the life. And I thought, yeah, I want a piece of that, to be honest. And you obviously can't underestimate the fact that I'm 21 years old, earning a healthy salary, got no student debt, but studying towards my chartered accountancy, which is one of the most sought after degrees in the world. During my time at KPMG, I've had the opportunity to do many career fairs across tons of different schools in Leeds. And a few of the questions that I get asked are, what about the uni experience? As I said before, that wasn't really something that I was too concerned about, but I do have, honestly, a great social life at KPMG. I've made friends for life because they understand, obviously, what you're going through day to day. And also, there's tons of social events at work. We've got summer barbecues, Christmas do, First Friday drinks, which is what it says on the tin. We go out the first Friday of every month with a bar tab. And we also, I did tag rugby about 8 months ago now with some people in the audit department. The second question I get asked a lot is, what do you actually do? I think there's quite a few misconceptions about apprentices, that we just make cups of tea or we just do the boring paperwork. That's not true whatsoever, as Ollie can vouch for me.
I actually didn't realise Amy was an apprentice on the last audit that we just signed off, and that was a company, a group, international group with revenues of £500 million, and Amy's just getting involved in the team, and I'm throwing her things to do and asking her questions, and we just, graduate or apprentice, everyone's new when they come to us. Very few people study accountancy before they come to KPMG. You all start from a blank slate and go through kind of the training and the qualifications. So.
Yeah, I think at KPMG we've got a challenge of, a culture of high challenge, high support. So you're going to be getting involved in tasks that push you, but you're also going to be getting the support from everyone on the team, whether it's partner, director, manager, even another apprentice. You can always go to whoever. So I do feel like a very valued member of the team. I do work such as admin expenses testing, payroll testing, post-close journals, which in turn help Ollie then decide if you have enough audit evidence to sign off on the audit opinion. The third question I get asked is, what is a transition like going from full-time education to full-time work? I personally found it quite easy. I was very ready to get away from full-time education and start my own little life in Leeds. If you are worried about it, there is a great onboarding team at KPMG. They'll talk you through all the logistics, they'll help you out. And I would also say a lot of the people at KPMG have joined through graduate or apprenticeship routes, so they completely 100% understand that this will be probably your first 9-to-5 job. And there is a lot of support. They will offer you support, advice, anything you need. I'm not going to lie, it is a big step up from going from full-time education to full-time work, but the support is there if needed. You get allocated a buddy on your first day. I mean, I still talk to my buddy now. I've been there for 1.5 years. And at the end of it, it is a lot of work, but if you put that work in, you get your chartered accountancy, and you've got a plethora of exciting opportunities that come after that. Probably a lot of you will be wondering about the application process. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't really remember my application process too much, but we do have a stand downstairs in the main arena that will go through it in full detail, but I'll just give you a quick overview. So you fill out an online application. You basically tells a bit about yourself, tells you predicted grades or the grades that you've already got. One thing that KPMG are pushing at the minute is when you type in your grade or your predicted grades, if you type in your postcode of your school, it will give us a better representative of your grades in comparison to the schools around you. And that's basically helping KPMG get applications from lower socioeconomic backgrounds that some people might not think to apply for because they think, I'm just not going to get it. But it gives everyone a fair opportunity. If you're successful in that stage, you go on to a Transforming Small Businesses assessment, which is a few questions, like hypothetical scenarios, which you'll have to give answers to. Some of that is maths-based and some of it is just knowledge-based, really. And then if you're successful in that, you'll go on to Delivering Outcomes, which is a written and video assessment, where you'll be asked to answer the same hypothetical questions, but you'll be asked to basically speak it and record yourself. If you're successful in that, you will then go on to the Launchpad, which is the final stage, of the application process, where you will do a group activity and you will also have your interview. One thing I would say is that a lot of the applicants really struggle with the interview side of things, but just treat it like a conversation, enjoy yourself, show a bit of personality. At the end of the day, KPMG are investing in you. They're spending all that money for you to go and get your degree. They want someone with a bit of personality. I applied for many apprenticeships, and this was one of the final ones I applied for, and it was the one I was most comfortable with. I went into it deciding I'm going to talk like myself, going to act like myself, I'm going to dress the way I feel comfortable, and this is the one that I got. The others that I got rejected from, I wasn't acting like myself, I was trying to be something that I wasn't. So yeah, just be yourself, enjoy it. That's about that. Any questions? No?
It's probably worth, I'll just take a minute just to tell you a little bit more about chartered accountancy qualification, because that's really kind of fundamental for our apprentices and our graduates, that you will do a qualification, the chartered accountancy exam. And exams, when you join, they take about 3 years to get through. It is very, very highly respected and very valuable qualification to have. Whether you stay with KPMG or another professional services firm, you could go into any industry in the world, in any country in the world with that qualification, because they all require finance professionals. And quite honestly, and I say this trying not to be as biased as possible, the chartered accountancy one with the ICAW is the absolute pinnacle of that. So it's hard to get, but thousands of people do it every year with the right support. You'll go to work and then you'll have big periods out of work where you're studying.
Yeah, so I'll work, and then probably 2 to 3 times a year I'll have exams. So for that, I'll go to college maybe 1 to 2 weeks whilst I'm studying for the exam, and then go back to work, and then we'll have a few study days and then the exam day.
Yeah, it's a really good support for all our graduates and apprentices who are going through this route. And like I say, it's a fantastic place to be, is accountancy. I think I have a calculator out about once a week, if anyone's wondering. The rest of it is about people, it's about words, it's about understanding business. And there are some fantastic opportunities with KPMG, but also, you know, within the sector more broadly. If anybody has any questions, we will loiter outside, and there's one more talk to come. We'll loiter outside for a few minutes after that talk finishes. And then, as Amy said, KPMG are on stand 48D with a few of our colleagues there who can explain a little bit more about what we do. Thank you very much for your time.